Hey everybody, Murphy Daily here, written by Murphy with a moment of wonder. With a moment of wonder. And kind of gonna do a rant. Because, okay, first of all, if you're here, if you're live, put a 1 in the comments. I want to know that you're here. I want to know that I'm talking to somebody live at this very moment. And if you are watching the replay, put a comment in the replay. Show me replay. Let me know what's happening, because I want this to be a conversation. I want to know if you're having a feeling about what I'm talking about, if you think I'm totally wrong, or if you totally agree, or if you had another thought that you want to bring up and say, hey, you know, that reminds me of another thing. I want to know. Okay, so I finished. This is how I do my books, right? I like to read my novels on my Kindle in words, and those are great. I like that because when I'm reading the words, I'm more immersed. I'm focused on that. My eyes are in it. But if I'm reading nonfiction, I want to do that while I'm walking around doing other chores around the house. So I have had three fantastic audiobooks that I just finished. That's The Art of Possibility, and Linchpin was really good too, which led me to The Art of Possibilities, and The Body of the World by Eva Ensler. Oh man, that just knocked me back. Okay, so I'm like, I kind of need to take a break here. I need to kind of take an easy one, take a lap for an easy little ride, because I'm always doing chores around the house, always doing stuff, especially on the weekend, right? Walking around, doing laundry, whatever. I gotta have something in my ears. So I was like, okay, what else has the library got? Let me find something. And I stumbled across this book called Present, Not Perfect. How great is that? Super light little snack, reminding me to be present and not give in to perfectionism. This is great, no problem. And then I open it up, I'm reading it, listening to it, and it starts out with a foreword by Brene Brown. Well, I love Brene Brown. How great. And this is exactly her kind of thing, so this is fun. So fine. And then it starts out with this woman, Shauna Nyquist. I'm sorry, Shauna, but here we go. All right. She's a pastor's wife or some kind of church wife. And oh my gosh, she's a mom. She has all kinds of mom things she's got to do. And she's an author. And she goes on tours to speak before, thousands, I'm sure. She doesn't say how many, but she's on book tours frequently. And she just talks about how she was really into perfectionism. Like, okay, I'm with her. I'm a mom. I don't do book tours, but I write books. And I also have a job and all these other things. Okay, all right, here we are. And then she says, it was when we went on this amazing vacation, this fantastic vacation, and I was having the most perfect moment where my son, and I was holding hands with my son underwater as we snorkeled and watched the beautiful water in Hawaii and the fishes and all the loveliness in the water. And I just realized, I loathe myself so much. Okay. With you still, Shauna, because I had a lot of times when I have like self-hatred and I'm very conflicted. And she was talking about how she loved her son and how she really felt like this was a beautiful parental moment and they were going to remember it forever. And at the same time, she had this sense of how much she didn't like herself. Great. Okay. That's all chapter 1. And then we get into chapter 2. And all of a sudden, we're in a church basement. I don't want to go to the church basement with you, Shauna. Because you did not give me enough to go with you there. You're a preacher's wife or whatever kind of wife you are in the church, that's fine. But you didn't really tell me any of your personal flaws other than your sense of self-hatred. And if you only came to the realization that something was wrong with your life in the middle of doing something, we're not there together, Shauna. So it wasn't until we got to chapter 2 when she was all talking about how she and her husband were starting new marvelous things in her church that I went and I looked. I'm like, oh, this is published by Zondervan. When I was reading a book that had a foreword by Brene Brown, I thought we were going to talk sincerely and genuinely with authenticity about learning to be present. But she could not go there. She couldn't be real about how she honestly had flaws. It reminds me of when I have to prepare to go for a job interview and that you're supposed to prepare for this question. I don't think anybody ever asks you this question where they say, what's your biggest flaw? And you're supposed to come up with a nonsense answer. You're supposed to come up with a BS answer and say, well, I work too hard. So Miss Church Lady, writing a book about being present and not perfect, couldn't be not perfect enough in her book to carry me forward. And I tried. You know what? I'm a third of the way through. Not that long of a book, but I'm more than a third of the way through. I'm like somewhere between a third and a half. I don't know what. 3/8, okay? No, lady, you can't be real with me. You can't tell me that you snapped at your child once. Come on. Too much of a church lady to let it go and say, I'm having a trouble. And that's the other thing. After she came to the realization that she had difficulty loving herself while swimming in Hawaii with her son, she went to her husband and said, things have to change. And right away, he said, yes, honey, we'll do whatever it takes. I've been on vacations. And my husband doesn't wear that kind of halo. And I love him and he's great at vacations. But, okay, I think I've made the point. He was just this perfect, these were dollhouse people talking about being present and not perfect in her book. And I can't go there. When I want to be real with the people in my life, and when I write, I'm really real and I'm embarrassing, and that's the kind of story I want to hear from other people. And perhaps that's working for Shauna because apparently she's traveling all over the world giving speeches, which is intimidating to me. And this is where I step away. I was like, okay, come on, you can just finish it. I don't like to give up on books, but this one I'm like, you know what? What am I doing? I just finished 3 of the most glorious books that are gonna like affect my life, possibly forever. And I want to sit down. There's a part where it talks about how to create a vision, which was so beautiful in The Art of Possibility. I'm gonna sit down and practice doing that. And this one was just so much about not being real that I had to step away. And it's okay to let something not be for you. I had to just let it go and be like, I'm going to move on. And all I wanted was just somebody to talk to me and tell me something new while I was doing the dishes, right? So I ended up picking up a book about you can read other people by, I don't know, FBI person or something talking about how to tell if someone is lying, which is a nonsense book, but I just wanted something that wasn't going to make me think too hard, and so I'm listening to that instead. And just picking something that's going to keep me company and not letting this thing which made me feel extremely just insufficient. My God, that woman, all the perfect ways that she is, and even how perfect she is when she's imperfect. No, thank you. I want to be a lot more real than that, and that wasn't adding to my life. So I'm old enough now that I'm willing to step away from books. There was a time when I would have finished it anyway, for sure. But this one, I'll let it go. Actually, if you guys have any suggestions for great books about, pick you up things. Somebody told me Girl Wash Your Face. That was good. I enjoyed that. If there's so much of the time, these kind of things are like lifestyle things in terms of there's lifestyle bloggers and stuff like that. That is a genre that I am inspired by, and that is why I do these videos, is because I'm like, hey, I don't want to follow the punchline. I don't want to follow Kim Kardashian. That's not the lifestyle I would like to have. I want a lifestyle full of reading and thinking. And so that's what this is about, because I want to gather people around me who want to have conversations and want to think about things in a real way and be inspired. So she's got her lifestyle. That's not the one I want. I want this kind of lifestyle where I get to talk to people about what's real. And I was hesitant to come up here and talk and be critical, because I don't want to be critical, but I also want to be real. So this one is one of the things where, oh, not that. I want to be talking to people who have bad hair days and have fights with their husband and snap at their children, because that's real. So that was what I was reading today. That's what I stepped away from today. And I'd like to know, what kind of people inspire you, and what kind of people are you like, oh no, none of that. So that's what I got today. And tomorrow maybe I'll tell you more about what I'm reading in different books. So thank you for being part of this. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this lifestyle of reading that I'm talking to you about. Okay, bye.